some harsh light. Let's see if I turn around this way. I'm still getting it. All right. I guess I'm just going to deal with it. Let's see. Oh no, that's not really helping. All right. So what I want to start out with is our tip. I like to give a tip right at the beginning of each vertical live. And the tip today, I haven't given too many tips or done much on writers, for new writers. If you have been thinking about starting a script, starting a book, starting a short film script, any type of writing, a novel, what I always recommend to students is that don't, at the very beginning, this is just for the very beginning when you're first starting and you're new to it, start with an outline. Sometimes people are resistant. Even writers that I hired in the past to write content for me, a lot are resistant to an outline. An outline is hard. An outline is work. But I recommend that if you start with an outline, when you're just developing your idea, you may have the idea already, you may know where it's going, but start with an outline and break it into parts. Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. So your outline will have 3 parts: the beginning, middle, and end. And don't worry about the formatting. That's what I tell new writers. That's what I tell writers that I hire. Because if someone hires you to write something for them, they want to know where the story is going. And you as a writer, as you create, you need to know where the story is going. So you're not just writing blindly. I remember when I first started years ago, I would just start writing. And sometimes I would start writing dialogue and scenes, and I didn't know where it was going. I'd get like halfway through the first act and realize this is not good. And you don't know where it's going. So again, the tip is if you're writing a short story, a 3-minute film, start with an outline. And your outline should include a beginning, middle, and end, so you know where your story is going. And then also the plus about having an outline is then you can become creative. You can put twists and turns in your story because you know where it's going. The beginning, middle, and end. Do not start writing dialogue. I know you may have some snappy lines in your mind that this character should say this, or this will be really cool if they say this, or she says that, or she does. Don't start writing your dialogue. You need to have a roadmap, and an outline is your roadmap. Any type of creative writing, again, I understand it's work. You want to get to the fun part of writing the scenes and the explosions and the catastrophes and the dialogue and the witty banter. Don't. Start with an outline, do the work, and your project will come out better. Give it a try. Again, I've hired lots of writers in the past to write B movies for me, to write spec scripts. I might give them an idea, and first thing I say, we're collaborating, do an outline. And sometimes, it's really frustrating. They'll send it back and they'll start with the dialogue. They'll start writing dialogue. You need to know, and this is the last time I say it, I'll say it. You need to know where your story is going so that you can become creative in the story and make something unique. Make something that the viewer or the reader is not expecting. But you only can do that if you know where you're going, if you know where the story is heading. So you need a beginning, middle, and end. And it doesn't have to be long. An outline can be 1 page, 2 pages, but it gives you a thought out idea of where your story is going. So try it. If you're a writer and you've been having writer's block and you might have wanted to write a short film, go ahead and write a short film that takes place in your living room, that takes place in your kitchen, that takes place in your backyard. But do the outline first, beginning, middle, and end. Okay, that's the tip for today for writers. I plan to do some more videos for writers because I've written a lot of low budget scripts over the years, many. I still have some on my shelf that were never produced and plan to do something with them. I always, you know how that is, you always plan to do something with it. But I'm glad I had them. I learned from each one. So today, what I plan to continue doing, I've been editing this morning. I had to make a few runs outside, took a little break, but I've been editing this morning on the project I'm working on for the producer, the student project from the acting school that I work with. I do a lot of their editing. and I edit their student projects. They're like showcases for the actors. So it's really a showcase for new talent because all actors, all new actors need to have something that they were in on tape so that if you're looking for an agent, if you're looking to be in a film, if you're looking to be in a television show, if you're looking to be in a community theater, they're going to ask, have you done anything? Can I see some of your work on tape? And that's what I edit for the program, the school I work with as one of my clients. They're one of my multiple editing clients and one of my consistently good clients, which I am thankful for. And so I work with them and I edit their content and I make their students look as good as possible. So that's the editor's job, is to go through the material, find the best takes, find the best scenes, remove pauses, remove remove. One thing I remove a lot is this. And I don't know, I need to look that up because I don't know why a lot of new actors do that. They make this clicking sound before they say the first word. I have to look that up. I've never looked that up. I'll get back to you on that. But I remove a lot of those. They irritate me, and they're also distracting to the viewer. You'll never see that on television unless there's a reason for it, unless that's some kind of character flaw that the character has. But that's something that you edit out. You edit out pops, clicks, noises, people coughing, actors taking too long pauses before they respond. So you clean it up. You make them look flawless as possible. And that's what I do. The editor's job is supposed to be invisible. And a lot of times it's a thankless job as an editor, but that's part of the art of it, making the talent look good. And that's kind of the fun of it too. Creatively making the scenes flow, making the story flow, making the viewer look at what you want the viewer to look at, holding their attention. So that's all the parts of an editor. If you are interested in editing, you need to learn the basics, how your software works, whatever your chosen software is, how it works, where the buttons are, what they can do. But then you need to start editing stuff because it's a matter of timing and pacing and thinking about how the character responds, how quickly should they respond, what their looks should be like, cut-ins, cutaways, looks of the other character when they're listening. That's really important too. That's what I'm going to go back when I finish talking to you guys right now. I cut a scene, but then I go back and I put in, they're therapy scenes. So then I go back and I put the therapist in as a cutaway when the actor is speaking so we can see the concern. We can see the, whatever the situation is, whatever the response of the therapist should be at that moment. I try to find a little cutaway that matches with what the actor is saying. So there's a lot of interesting creativity. There's a lot of little details to editing that people don't notice. And you're not supposed to notice it because once you start looking at the editing, then you're not following the story anymore. A lot of big filmmakers, they do a lot of fancy editing. They do a lot of fancy effects as far as pausing the scene and having the camera move around. That stuff is popular for a while and, it goes out of fashion. But traditional editing and traditional storytelling is basically what you see all the time on, network series. They don't get into a lot of that fancy, what I call nonsense editing, where your scene may not be interesting, so you're going to try to spice it up with a lot of fancy cuts and quick edits and slash pans and whips and all that kind of stuff. That's just a personal feeling of mine. I don't like that. I don't appreciate that. I like traditional stories, traditional storytelling, lockdown shots on a tripod or a steady cam, maybe a few dolly shots here and there, and then handheld when it's called for. Maybe when there's a fight scene, or maybe when there's something you want to put the audience off ease with. I'm not completely against all the fancy angles and swish pans and all that kind of stuff, but I think it's overdone. It really is overdone all the time. And to me, it's a symptom of not having a good story, not thinking your story can stand on its own. And I guess that comes from being an actor. I like to see good acting. I like to see response. I like to see actors listening. I like to see actors talking. I like to see what they're doing to make you interested in the story. So that's just from an actor's point of view. But also, I think it's important when you're telling a story and making your story elevated, where you don't need all those tricks and gimmicks. So that's just my point of view. So I'm going to be getting back to my editing, and I wanted to stop by and say hello to you guys this afternoon. If any of you are new and you haven't seen my channel, please follow the link below. I have a lot of playlists there. I'd like you to take a peek at them, watch some of the content. I've been creating some content. One of the things I wanted to talk about real quick was this series I've been creating, Tammy, the Actress Writer. That's what it's called, Tammy, the Actress and Writer. You can see it on my channel. Follow the link below and go to the playlist and you'll see Tammy, the Actress Writer. Take a look at some of the content there. It's pretty fun. I'm having great fun with these characters. As you write and you create characters, there's this phenomena called identification. And as you go through as a writer and you start creating scripts or a story or a novel or whatever, identification is a term that the characters actually seem to come to life to you. It sounds kind of crazy, but it is. It's something true. And if you start writing and you write a bit, you'll start to notice it. You'll start to think about the characters and what they will and won't do, what they will say, what they want, what they won't. You start to identify with the characters. And I have multiple characters in this series that I'm starting to identify with. So that makes it fun. And another thing about this is that each episode is really short. I've been on, if you go to my channel, you'll see that I talk a lot about artificial intelligence video generation and all the problems it has. But I also talk about it is the future and you need to learn it. I say it mostly in every video. And I'm working more with it now. This series is being created. It's a dramatic series with comedy, half drama, more comedy than drama, much more comedy than drama. So I better call it a dramedy, as they say. I hate that term, but dramedy is drama and comedy. But that's what it really is. It's not your sitcom comedy. It's drama, comedy with drama. But anyway, the characters are taking a life on of their own. And it's great when you get to that stage because you're thinking about what they're going to do next, what they want to do next. They're kind of taking over. And it's a great feeling when you're writing and you're writing something and it comes alive to you. I guess one of the most prolific writers who does that or must experience it is Stephen King, because he wouldn't be able to write that much if the characters weren't, if he didn't have that ability to have the characters just come alive. So it's a good feeling. And again, if you want to write, start writing. Give it a try. Give it a try. We don't want to lose it. We don't want to lose that creative art to artificial intelligence. Even though I'm a big proponent of artificial intelligence, I use it every day and I enjoy it. I like it. It's very, very helpful with my work, all facets of my work. And I recommend anybody in any field trying to find out how this can make your job easier. Now, I'm not saying rely on it and just take whatever it gives you and paste it into something. You need to review it, make sure it's correct, and put that human touch, your personal touch, on whatever you generate through artificial intelligence. Make it your own. Give him, I call her, give her an idea of what you want. She will give you something, and then you polish it. Collaborate with it. I'm a big proponent of collaboration. I guess because being in the film business, being an actor, you have to collaborate. And I enjoy that collaboration. And this is just another level of collaboration with a big resource with knowledge that no one person can have as much knowledge as this tool they've built with artificial intelligence. So it has spaces in every business as a tool, again, as a tool. And again, I'm not oblivious to, I know it's going to take away jobs, but there will be new jobs. There will be new jobs. I just discovered something within the film realm. Timeline prompting will be a job. And what that is it's someone creating prompts for artificial intelligence and getting real detailed with those prompts. Getting real detailed, not just, create me a puppy with a banana on his nose. I'm talking about real detailed prompts about timeline based, if you're creating video, you could go by the timeline. I want to see the puppy and describe him in detail. Black collar, brown eyes, black circle around one eye, hair hanging over his ears, the ears. I'm talking about real detailed prompting. So that's going to be a position. That's going to be a career. That's going to be a job. So there are a lot of elements in tied to artificial intelligence that will go along with all kinds of business, accounting, marketing, medical field, nurses, doctors, lawyers. A guy came to our house today to deal with some smoke damage that our house had. We were near the wildfires out here in California. You know, artificial intelligence can help with that, you know, to some degree. But you need to know how to use it, a good knowledge of it. And that will make you more of a valuable employee. You can teach others in the company. You know, you can start your own side business with artificial intelligence. So don't fear it. Embrace it. It's a tool. It's not nothing to be feared. Now, maybe in the future, 100 years from now, they will be hunting us down. Because once it becomes what they call general artificial intelligence, where it can think for itself, yeah, it'll realize what's causing the problem. Humans. Humans are the problem. But we're not at that time yet, so that'll be something for our people in the future to worry about. But again, thanks for stopping by. Go to my channel, look at some of my content, check out Tammy, actress and writer, and look at some of the episodes, a lot of little short little teeny episodes, 15 seconds, 16 seconds, 20 seconds. I'm starting to bump that up. I made my first episode yesterday. The very last episode that's up there right now is 30 seconds. So I'm not going to go over 30 seconds. I'm going to keep each episode in this series 30 seconds or less. And this is kind of a test. As you watch it, you'll notice there are a lot of character inconsistencies. I'm doing my best to stay consistent with characters, but it's not working. Again, this tool, artificial intelligence, video generation, it's still new. It's still beta. Every company out there that tells you they have a final version that has complete character consistency, not true. Not true. There's some that get close, but if you look real close, each character is slightly different. Each version of the character is slightly different. I'm working with Sora 2, and I really like it. And once the free version ends, I'm planning to get a paid version. What I'm going to do, it's kind of expensive, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all my scripts together, and once I'm ready, then I will get a paid version for a month and pump out my content for the series. So that'll be a great way that I will continue to work with it. So I plan on getting a paid version, which is about $200 a month. But it's not worth it if you're not using it. So I'll wait till I'm completely ready, and then I'll join up for a paid version, do all the next season of whatever series I'm working on, and then finish it up within a month, and then take off a month or two, and then do more content. So that's my plan. I'm continuing to use artificial intelligence video, and I still work with real actors. What my goal too, one thing I really am trying to get off the ground is a show, a series here for YouTube. And these series I'm talking about are going to be for vertical. The one I'm doing right now is a vertical streaming series, only showing here on YouTube. And so it's a YouTube exclusive. And I market it off site on other sites, but I'm leading everyone back here to YouTube for my series where it can be seen here only. And I'm planning to do more of that. I really want to bring more humorous content here to YouTube. And I'm not going to get into any more on my soapbox anymore, but I'm enjoying it. I like creating it. And there's a lot of frustrating elements, a lot. I was up late last night finishing off this episode that I just released last night, and prompting over and over and over again, trying to come up with new ideas, trying to find workarounds to get what I wanted. Because the software doesn't give you, sometimes it gives you close to what you want, but then it'll change something. So it's kind of crazy. And what I'm doing too, which is going to be interesting, I've been saving the mistakes. So I'm going to make a compilation of bad prompts, like bloopers for the series. And I'll put that online at a later date. But that's something I'm going to be doing too, putting the bloopers on there. which is funny because some of them are drop dead funny. Characters fall over, characters walk the wrong way. So it's really funny, and seeing what artificial intelligence does, the bloopers. So I'm going to have some of that on there too. I'm going to create some of that. I might do that next week or something like that. I need to put it on my schedule. As a matter of fact, I don't have it on my schedule. So I will see you maybe later this evening, depending upon how my work goes. Please go to my channel. You'll find it at the link below. James Adam Tucker, unedited with James Adam Tucker. Unedited with James Adam Tucker. I talk about acting, directing, and editing. I'm a longtime actor, director, and editor. You can look me up on Internet Movie Database, James Adam Tucker. I'll pop right up, or just type me into Google, James Adam Tucker. Or easier, just go to my channel below. I have a lot of ways to get in touch with me. And if you have any questions about acting, directing, or editing, I've been answering a lot of questions, and I thank you. Thank you for sending me those emails. I love answering questions. So send me some more emails. If you have any questions, I will answer them promptly. And last week, I crossed over my 1,000 subscribers, and thank you guys. Heartfelt thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm working on my watch hours to become monetized. And I plan to do a lot of expanding with this channel. I enjoy this channel, the freedom that it gives me to reach out to you guys and make content and just talk about it. Just getting on here right now, daily, and giving you that tip right up front, something that I hope can help you. Gave you a tip today about writers starting with an outline. Starting with an outline. I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult to sit down and do the work of it, but if you want to do anything good, you need to do the work. You need to put the work in. So start with an outline. Okay, I'll see you next time. Be back soon. And remember, reach out to me if you have any comments or questions. I love answering them. All right, see you later.